Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Tuesday the 14th of July. Kiwi acting star Sir Sam Neill is being remembered for his lasting legacy after he died suddenly yesterday, aged 78. Director Steven Spielberg says he adored making all the Jurassic Park movies with Neill. Peaky Blinders co-star Cillian Murphy says like everyone who knew Sir Sam, he admired and adored him and remembers him as one of the finest actors and kindest people. Kiwi actor and director Sir Ian Mune says their friendship goes back more than 50 years.
He hated performance, hated being seen to act, and that was part of his appeal. Whenever anybody went to see a Sam Neill film, they knew they were getting the truth.
A Wellington City Councillor has disclosed to our Secret Service Chinese embassy officials questioned him in 2023 after he had attended an anti-Communist Party performance. In June, the Security Intelligence Service confidentially briefed councillors after finding local government has been targeted by foreign interference actors. Tobias McIntosh has more.
During the briefing, Councillor Ray Chung disclosed he'd been invited to a China Before Communism show 3 years ago. It is an offshoot of a religious movement banned in China in the 90s. After going along, he was invited to the Chinese embassy and asked about his presence at the event.
The principal of Christchurch's St Thomas of Canterbury College says it's about more than land and buildings, with its future up in the air. The religious order that owns the Sockburn site has sought permission to sell the assets to compensate Australia sexual abuse victims. Steve Hart's written a tribute to the school, saying its true value comes from its students, families and staff over the past 60 years. The deadline's approaching for Cabinet to make a decision on what happens when our two main warships retire. Business think tank, the New Zealand Initiative, is warning what replaces the frigates will determine our trade routes and defence capabilities for the next generation. Senior fellow, retired Major General John Howard, says it's a matter of national security given the complex geopolitical environment.
We need to show that we're able to not just understand the changing situation, but we're agile enough to make strategic decisions to protect our national interests.
Confidence there are checks to ensure that truckies involved in a driver licensing scandal are fit to drive. 16 testing officers have been suspended and 7 stood down after a transport agency investigation. About 650 drivers they tested have to resit the exam, but NZTA has confirmed to RNZ it can't suspend their licences before the test. Transporting New Zealand Chief Executive Dom Kalassi says transport operators do in-house checks of newly licensed drivers. David Seymour has announced that Paul Henry will stand as a list candidate for ACT at this year's election. And Brian Adams is coming back to New Zealand. He'll perform in Auckland and Christchurch next March. To sport, Sir Scott Dixon has revealed he began contemplating his IndyCar team switch to McLaren last September. Melbourne Storm 5/8 Cameron Munster will undergo knee surgery after sustaining a cartilage injury and is expected to be out for 4 to 6 weeks of the NRL. Doug Howlett admits it was inevitable that his All Blacks Test try-scoring record was to be broken this season after Will Jordan surpassed 49 career tries in the win over Italy. And New Zealand's wait for another under-20 World Rugby title will continue after being pipped by France 26-22 in the semi-finals. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.